I want to look at some past Pride Month posts and videos and songs and whatnots. See how people were reacting to Pride Month last year and the year before. About as entertaining as it gets. There's a siren outside that is driving me nuts. Why is there always a siren outside? I don't know if you guys remember this, but Forgiato Blow is the guy on screen here. If you're not familiar, he's a MAGA rapper. A MAGA rapper. And he's got his little buddy here in the background, Jimmy Levy. See, riding carts through Target together. I can't imagine the Target employees very happy with this. Jimmy Levy was like really, really big in American Idol. I've never seen the TV show before, but he went really far. He almost won, I think. And he's been on a bunch of really famous rappers' albums, like XXXTentacion. Don't ask me why I picked that name. I'm not a fan. Anyway, these two guys are very, very famous and well-respected in the music industry, surprisingly. But, like, all they talk about is MAGA. Literally, like, that's the genre of music, is MAGA rap. So, last year, there's this whole thing happening with Target. This is from, this is, like, May 25th, 2023, when this came out. Target had a Pride section, and somebody grabbed a Pride shirt and brought like a rainbow, happy Pride Month shirt, walked over to the baby section and held the Pride shirt up in front of the baby section and took a picture and said, look, Target has Pride stuff in the baby section. I say that because it was like an adult shirt. Like what? And there were no, there was no Pride baby stuff. Either way, they lost it, man. They lost it. Forgiato Blow made a whole song about it. I want to listen to it. He did this with Jimmy Levy, too. So while we listen to these nutter butters of epic proportions, we're going to play some Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom. But anyway, let's just listen to these guys make fools of themselves, as always.
Intentional shoppers. Yeah. There's a cleanup on every aisle. Yeah. Target is targeting your kids. Yeah.
Sick beat, actually.
They put a target on my back, but they targeting your kids. They don't even need to ask, cause you all know what it is. Yeah, that's why I keep a strap, and I'm always by my bed.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Bud Light was, like, the target of their ire also because they sponsored Dylan Mulvaney, a trans influencer. Not really sure who it is exactly, but anyway, that's why he's carrying Bud Light. Like, my God, man, get over yourself. Why do you care?
This agenda gotta stop. Yeah, you know we gonna win when they target. Yeah, they targeting. Target. Yeah, they target kids.
Okay, now think about what's happening in this song right now. In this music video, he's saying they're targeting our kids. And he's standing in a toy aisle here, right? While holding a bottle of wine in the toy section with it's rainbow colored. This is a joke, right? They're not targeting kids, even with like gay pride, even though I think that kids should be able to express pride in the fact that they're gay just as well as adults do. But either way, Target didn't have any kid-related anything for Pride Month last year. It was all just like adult. It was like wines and adult T-shirts and stuff. That's it. But they've got to like fabricate an issue where one doesn't exist. So
target, yeah, they targeting. Target, yeah, they target kids. Target, yeah, they targeting. Target, yeah, they target. You know that Target's that wrong. Trying to play with the kids. It's the mayor of Megaville. I'm preaching again. You know that.
Okay, so look at this. He's making a point of pulling these tampons off of the shelf. Like, what point's he making here? I don't understand. Watch his reaction when he pulls these off.
You know that LGBTQ done went too far.
The LGBTQ went too far because we've got pink boxes and we've got blue boxes. That's just too much, man. It's too much. What the hell is going on right now? What is this? Oh my God, dude. These people are absurd. By the way, this Rainbow High yearbook, if I remember correctly, nothing to do with being gay. It's existed for like ever. This is just a book. God, man, these people are just, they are caricatures of themselves at this point. They're caricatures of themselves. Hang on, let me look. Rainbow High yearbook. Yeah, it's just like a normal thing. It's not anything to do with HarperCollins, publishers. Yeah, I don't think it's gay anything. Oh my God, people.
Went too far. You know they cutting these kids, they leaving with scars.
Sorry about any time he uses slurs or anything. I do my best here, but to, censor this stuff out. But this isn't happening. This is not an issue or whatever. People are not giving trans-affirming surgeries to kids. The way that he's like portraying it here is absurd. Get a grip on reality, bro.
They pushing agenda, promoting sexual genders. I'm only rocking with Bruce, don't rock with no Caitlyn Jenner. You think that gay shit gon' get you paid? Yeah, we gon' see. It's Mar-a-Lago 2024, we trumping, baby. They put a target on my back, but they targeting your kids. They don't even need to ask, cause you all know what it is.
Well, like I said, I mean, it's a sick beat, and they're really good rappers. Really, I think they're really good rappers, surprisingly. And, I'm kind of like a rap connoisseur, if you will. But this shit is just wild, man.
That's why I keep a strap, and I'm always about my biz. This agenda gotta stop. Yeah, you know we gonna win when they target, yeah, they target and target, yeah, they target kids.
What's he pointing at? Did you see that? Hold on. What's he pointing at here? He's looking at like, what's going on? Why is this in the toilet? What is this? Is this just like a truck? Why is he doing this? What the hell is happening right now, man? My God, these people, get help, okay? You live in like this fictitious world where everything and everybody's out to get you and your kids. Quick interjection, this won't take long, I promise. I'd appreciate it if you watched to the end of the video, or at least a couple extra seconds, because YouTube bases its algorithm off of watch time. The more watch time a video has, the further the video will go. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion, and the history of the religion generally. The 100 questions are intended to challenge a religious leader, so I'd appreciate it if you give it a read. Okay, back to the video.
Yeah, they target kids, target, yeah, they target and...
Like, the only LGBT thing, like, genuinely legitimate LGBT things that they have, or that they've shown in this video, at the very least. I'm gonna pull Breath of the Wild down for a second. Only legitimate thing that I've seen so far is these wines. It's like one end cap with wines that have rainbows on them. That's it. I'm not seeing... I mean, hell, look, the Cheez-It box even has, like, stars and stripes on the side. It's not even, like, celebrating gay pride. These are not for, like, children. This end cap is not for kids. These people are, like, freaking out over absolutely nothing.
Target.
Somebody says, how is it that they can film in a Target? They probably couldn't. They probably just walked in and started riding the carts around like that. I would be willing to bet.
Target, yeah, they target kids. Heard the news story, targeting kids. They going after our youth, and yeah, they do it like this. If you ain't mad yet, well, then you better be pissed.
Like, they keep saying they're targeting our kids and zooming in on the wine. What?
Protesting till they close and they ain't gonna be missed. Why they got pride shirts in the kids' clothing section? Why they trying to...
Again, they didn't have pride shirts in the kids' clothing section. Somebody carried an adult shirt to the kids' clothing section and took a picture of it. That's it. This is not like an order from, like, corporate or something.
Clothing section. Why they trying to mess with the kids and give misconceptions? They manipulating minds and making evil impressions. Got little boys tucking out by time they teens got depression.
We need to clean up on every island side. This door Satan resides.
Okay, his voice is interesting, but it does not fit with the beat at all.
Besides, wash it with the blood of Christ. It's needed here, so don't think twice. Dating with a Satanist, we all know this is the end.
Like, I don't even know what he's saying. He's just kind of mumbling. It's called mumble rap, by the by, if you're unfamiliar.
God is coming for revenge. Target is targeting.
They put a target on my back, but they talk.
Like, if you're rapping and you are not enunciating each word, then you're not rapping well. If people can't listen and pick out specific words and write them down as you go, you're a mumble rapper. You're not saying the full syllables, and you just suck. And that's what it sounded like he was doing, kind of. I mean, he's just, like, blending words together. And he's got a beautiful voice, just really bad at this.
They're targeting your kids, they don't even need to ask, cause you all know what it is. Yeah, that's why I keep it strapped.
Like, why is he grabbing all of the boxes? People need that shit, bro.
And I'm always by my beds, this agenda gotta stop. Yeah, you know we gonna win when they target, yeah, they targeting. Target, yeah, they target kids. Target, yeah, they targeting. Target, yeah, they target kids.
Yeah, the end. That's just insane, man. I'm so deeply entertained by how psychotic this is. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Anyway, Forgiato Blow goes on Fox News to talk about this MAGA rap song that he made. Listen to this.
I think it's just showing what...
And by the way, I'm saying this is late May 2023 when this came out.
I think it's just showing what the world needs. Like I said, it all starts with the children. Somebody has to stand up for the kids. Somebody has to stand up for the children. That's where they start with, this agenda with the younger group. They're easily manipulated by...
Manipolized.
Making them feel like, this is what everybody's doing. This is what you should be doing. And it's just not right. It's not right at all.
Like, they live in a fantasy land where people are coming after their kids and say, this is just crazy. Get a grip on reality, bro. Okay, this video that I wanted to kind of look back to, I played this forever ago. This is from early April 2023, and there was a pride parade going through Franklin, Tennessee. So they had a citizen comments segment in, like, this town hall meeting thing or whatever. And, oh my God, dude. I don't even know. Just give it a listen and see what these people said about it.
I don't want to see a guy twerking in front of me. I'm 60 years old. Has nothing to do with my kids. I don't want to see it.
I don't care who you date. This is about opposing a very dark political movement.
Find a private venue or a safe space that you say you desire.
You can go to the library. You can go to my church. I don't care. Just stay out of the public venues with what you're trying to advertise.
Okay, look, the thing is, here's something that a lot of people misunderstand about being gay. It's a form of love, not a form of, like, sleeping with somebody. It doesn't really have that much to do with sleeping somebody. It's about who you're attracted to, who you love, who you want to have a romantic relationship with more than anything, right? And there's nothing wrong with displaying or coming out and being public about the fact that you love somebody of the same gender. You see couples, a man and a woman, going to the movies and eating popcorn together and holding hands and kissing all the time. So why can't a gay couple do the exact same thing? But they want to shove them into a box, into a library, or into a private venue or whatever. Quick interjection, this won't take long, I promise. I just want to say I'd appreciate it if you check my Patreon. OwenMorgan.com/Patreon to find it. YouTube's algorithm goes up and down, so I can never predict where it's going to be. Having patrons gives me some level of stability. Okay, back to the video. People should be able to be who they want to be. And guess what? The LGBT community is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. There will always be gay people. There have always been members of the LGBT community throughout history in every demographic. Pride parades are just people having a good time and being themselves and being out and walking around with their spouse or their partners or whatever, and that's all it is. It just stays there. But everybody tries to turn it into an attack on the kids every single time. Listen to this next woman and what she has to say about it.
God's word is clear that homosexuality is a sin.
Do we or do we not want sex on display in a public park here in Franklin, Tennessee?
That's not what's happening. And ultimately, like, pushing them into a corner, like, find a private venue, pushing them out of the public square like that is just the first step toward eliminating any kind of gathering at all. Keeps moving back. Like, look at Roe v. Wade. All Republicans were saying is that they wanted to eliminate abortion. They just wanted to stop abortion from happening because it's a life, right? They just wanted to end abortion. And then when abortion stopped, when it was, when they eliminated Roe v. Wade, now what are they doing? They are literally voting on bills to ban birth control. Every time there's a win on the Republican politician side, the Republican politicians, House members, senators, so on, thought leaders, the Heritage Foundation, people like that, they always move it back just a little bit further. So right now, these people are trying to push people out of the public square and force them into a private venue. If you think it's going to stop there, you're delusional.
It's only a matter of time before it turns out into what you would see in other major cities.
Oh, no, not other major cities.
We are at an inflection point in this city's history and in this nation's history where pronouns are being shoved down our throats.
Pronouns being shoved down our throats, okay.
I'm sure you don't want to see me in a bondage gear outfit. I wouldn't look very good.
Yeah, I don't think that really happens much at Pride. Like, that shouldn't happen at Pride, I agree, and it doesn't really happen much at Pride.
Good.
I also want to say this lie of being hated, gay community that's here, we love you.
No, I don't accept that.
We don't hate you. I have friends that are gay. I grew up being surrounded by gay community in Southern
California. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, totally, 100%. Grew up being surrounded by the gay community in Southern California. Totally. This sounds kind of familiar. This harkens back to the old 1950s videos where people kept saying, I have a black friend who lived in my neighborhood when I was little, so on and so forth. Just absurd. I don't accept that they don't hate gay people. I mean, her specifically, and the people that are up here. Specifically who I'm talking about is it this woman?
Do we or do we not?
No, it wasn't this one.
God's word is clear that homosexuality is a sin.
That woman right there. I don't accept that she does not hate gay people. Jehovah's Witnesses make the same claims. I argue that they do. They hate them. They compare them to people who take advantage of kids constantly. They treat them like garbage. They try to push them out of public life to any degree at all. It's unacceptable. And then say, we love you, we love you. No, that's not love. Lee loves rats. These are the same people who call us sensitive, Lamau. Yeah, I know. It's absurd. These people are caricatures of themselves at this point. Anyway, there's more. I have more video here. So if you guys don't know Tony Perkins, this is him on screen. He is I think he's the leader of the Family Research Council, FRC. It's a right-wing think tank, basically, that proposes legislation. It writes bills. The people that are members here, they write bills, and they give those bills to senators or House members or whatever to pass, to sign and send on through. But Tony Perkins is like a giga Christian, like an extremist nutcase. And let's see, when was this from? I think this is from like 2021, maybe 2022. He had this to say, like at the beginning of Pride. Listen to this.
Good evening and welcome to Pray Vote Stand. I'm your host, Tony Perkins, President of the Family Research Council. Tonight, surviving the rainbow onslaught. When you can't turn on the television, shop for cereal, or scroll through Facebook without being hit over the head with LGBT pride.
Is that what's happening? You're being hit over the head? You have to survive an onslaught? Really? I thought people just showing pride in who they are and not being shamed out of it anymore.
How should Christians respond?
By just leaving people alone and living their lives? How often do I hear far-right Republican nutcases screaming about their pride in whatever? Constant. And do I say anything? No. I move on with my day.
Thanks to woke corporate America and the most radical administration in history, there's no escaping the left's forced sexual revolution.
The left is forcing a sexual revolution.
What does the Bible say about confronting the culture's rebellion? How did we get to the point where celebrating sex and transgenderism became a 30-day event that rivals Christmas?
Are you serious? You think it rivals Christmas? I wouldn't have even known that Pride Month had started if I weren't like so deeply entrenched in the community, because I talk about it so frequently. I'm a political commentator and stuff. I have no idea where his head is to say something like that. That Pride rivals Christmas. Wow.
We have a president who's flying the rainbow flag above the U.S. flag at our embassies.
Just complete nonsense. This is another one of those claims from these people that the pride flag is replacing the American flag at embassies and wherever else. Complete garbage. The pride flag is not replacing American flags. It's not being flown to show that it's superior to America or whatever. It's not anything like that. But he wants to create a persecution complex for himself, so he's going to.
Democratic Congress that thinks the military should salute Pride on base.
What? Democratic congressman, is that what he said? Thinks the military should salute Pride. Okay, Pride is a non-corporeal concept, so I'm not sure what they'd be saluting.
And a White House that brags almost 14% of its 1,500 appointees are LGBT.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's true, but hang on, let me see. This is 1 minute. What is this that we're looking at here? Is this even real? I'm not sure. I mean, if that's true, that's good, because it's more representative of society. But I have no idea if what he's putting up here is real. They have a tendency to just, like, make things up whole cloth.
Of its 1,500 appointees are LGBT. You can't blame people for wondering, when did we become identified by our sexual proclivities?
It's not a sexual proclivity. It's a form of love.
The world is upside down when American pride is something we should apologize for, but sexual perversion is the stuff of parades.
I'm sorry, wait, what was that last sentence?
Thing we should apologize. The world is upside down when American pride is something we...
Okay, American pride should be apologized? No, what are you talking about? You don't have to apologize for being an American. You don't have to apologize for whatever. What kind of fantasy land does this dude live in? This is nuts. And by the way, this is who's writing bills on Capitol Hill. People like this at his think tank.
We should apologize for, but sexual perversion is the stuff of parades. Just a few decades ago, these activists said all they wanted was recognition, autonomy,
well, I mean, I'm not even sure what he's talking about. Are you saying that all activists wanted was to not be shot in the street or arrested under archaic sodomy laws? Is that what he's saying? Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I would love to eliminate those things, right?
Recognition, autonomy, coexistence. Now, a handful of years after Obergefell, it's not enough to leave them alone with their choices. They demand validation, affirmation.
Okay, Obergefell was, I believe, the Supreme Court decision that legalized gay marriage countrywide, like on a federal level. And he's saying that just getting married is affirmation and validation. How does that affect him at all? How, in what universe is he just leaving these people alone and living his life? He's out here crying about the rainbow onslaught. Give me a break, man.
Choices, they demand validation, affirmation, celebration. Pride is the new religion, and everyone must bow a knee to their sexual gods or...
No, you don't have to do that. I don't bow any knee. I don't even know what you're talking about. Nobody I know has ever bowed a knee to any sexual god.
...to their sexual gods or face the left's fiery furnace.
One could say that, when he says the left, let's just for a moment, let's say he's talking about me, right? I'm not trying to, like, throw anyone in a fiery furnace because they're not bending a knee to pride or whatever. You want to live your life and do your thing and not go to a pride parade? Then don't go to a pride parade. You know that I've never been to a pride parade? Surprisingly. I mean, I've been in the vicinity of them, but I never actually went there and made an appearance or whatever. This guy is really no different than me in that he doesn't, like, physically have to interact with the LGBT community to any degree. I intentionally go in and talk about these issues and work with people and try to improve the situation. If he wanted, he could just, like, not interact with this at all. he could just live his life with his with his wife that he's married to and have his kids and everything and just leave it all behind. But he's specifically, intentionally choosing to harass people simply because of who they are.
Me, or is it almost like a neon sign that this is called Pride Month? The very thing that when we read throughout Scripture is the downfall of man is pride. It's almost as if, as I prayed a few moments ago about shaking a collective fist in the face of God.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, people have pride. They are proud of themselves, and they are not going to be shamed about who they are and what they are and who they love and so on. That's what that means. They're just proud of themselves, proud of their accomplishments. I'm proud of some of my own accomplishments. I'm proud of other people's accomplishments. I have pride in other people. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that you should be boastful or whatever. I mean, that's the way that the Bible was using it. This is called equivocation. Taking the one word that has like a definition and applying a different definition and a different context to that word.
You wonder if the spiritual forces behind Pride Month have tipped their hand.
Good evening.
Please get a grip on reality. Seriously, the spiritual forces behind Pride Month? So Satan runs Pride Month, I guess. My God, these people. Here's Greg Locke. Greg Locke had something to say about it. Oh God, I hope he doesn't say something crazy. I haven't watched this clip in years. This one is from June 11th, 2021.
Real love does not take an entire month of a year.
No, it takes your whole life, right?
To celebrate something that you know God clearly calls an abomination in the Bible.
Here's the equivocation again, to celebrate it or whatever. People are just proud of who they are. That's it. And it's a month to recognize that people have historically been oppressed and mistreated. It's a minority group that's been denigrated and spat upon and hated since the dawn of time, practically, certainly in the United States. That's all. It doesn't rival Christmas. It doesn't whatever. What was it he said?
Celebrate something that you know God clearly calls an abomination in the Bible.
Yeah, it's not like a month-long celebration or whatever like this. It's just a recognition of the fact that gay people exist in society. They are who they are, and they should be proud of who they are. Simple as that.
It just doesn't. Now, listen, I cannot compromise the truth of Scripture for your kids, my kids, their kids, or anybody else's family. I
No one is asking you to. Just live your life and leave us alone.
know what the Bible teaches. And the Bible teaches that pride is an abomination.
Equivocation, once again. Pride used in the Bible is not what pride is in today's society. Two completely different meanings.
Pride in sin is a double abomination.
Your mom's a double abomination.
So now we've decided that we would nationalistically and around the world take an entire month to celebrate something that God clearly says in his Bible grieves him.
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about, but the Bible, I've said this before. At risk of repeating myself, I just want to lay this out. Take me 30 seconds. There are 6 verses in the Bible that mention being gay at all, to any degree whatsoever. 3 in the Old Testament, 3 in the New Testament. One is in Genesis 1:27, I believe. It's about Sodom and Gomorrah. But Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of its ill treatment of the poor, not because of, they had gay people in it or whatever. It was the way that they treated guests that was the problem. So that one's right out the window. I don't even care about that. Plus, it's Old Testament. We don't follow the Old Testament anymore since Jesus fulfilled it. Then the other 2 in the Old Testament are Leviticus chapter 18 and Leviticus chapter 20. Those are from the Mosaic law, the law that says don't eat any pork, don't eat shellfish, don't wear cotton and linen blends, don't put 2 seeds in the same hole, so on and so forth. It's in there. It's in that little category right there, don't be gay. But again, Jesus fulfilled it, so we don't follow that anymore. The other 3 verses are in the New Testament. 1 Corinthians, 1 Timothy, and Romans 1:27. The kind of dead to rights verse that people always turn to is Romans 1:27. And they're all talking about the same thing roughly, so let's just address Romans 1:27. And in the same way, also, the men giving up natural intercourse with women were consumed with passion for one another. Men committed shameless acts with men and received in their own persons the due penalty for their error. That seems pretty on the nose, right? Like, how do you deny that? Problem is that we don't live in that culture or that time, and our ideas about what that verse means are tinted with the lens that we view it through today. It doesn't, at the time, what that was talking about was being the passive participant in a male prostitution equation. And it was talking about pederasty. That's what Romans 1:27 condemned. And the reason that it condemned those things in Corinthians, for example, or probably Romans too, I mean, Paul wrote both of them. The reason that he condemned it in Corinthians, at least, is because he was over concerned, I guess, with the image of the early Christian church. He knew that the image could easily be destroyed, and he wanted to improve the image. So he caught wind of the congregation in Corinth. Some people in that congregation were like bragging about sleeping with their stepmother, and another guy's bragging about sleeping with a male prostitute. And Paul said, don't even dine with such a man who would do that, basically. And he reversed that like in the following book. But anyway, the point is that it was about the image that Paul was trying to maintain, and it was not condemning long-term gay marriage. But, you know, Greg Locke doesn't care about any of that nuance. He doesn't bother looking any deeper than the surface level. He thinks that the Bible is completely 100% inerrant and has zero contradictions and is perfect in every way, and our translation of it is absolutely perfect in every way. Despite the fact that this right here, what we're looking at, this is a diagram of all of the contradictions in the Bible. There are like a billion.
Grieves him. Because after all, love is love. Not according to the Bible. Love ain't always love. Sometimes love is lust. Sometimes love is rebellion.
Rebellion, okay. Well, I mean, there are different words for love in the Bible. There's like porneia and agape and so on and so forth. It, like, you know, indigenous people in Canada had like a bunch of different words for snow. It's the same thing in, you know, I guess ancient Rome when Jesus was wandering around, bebopping along. Anyway, I don't even know what he's talking about here, what his point is.
Love ain't always love. Sometimes love is lust. Sometimes love is rebellion. Sometimes love is a disconnection and disobedience from the Word of God. Real love doesn't rejoice in evil. It rejoices in the truth. If we're making sense, say amen. So I try to be kind in the way that I say that, but we have...
Oh, he's trying to be kind here, huh? Okay.
Raised an entire generation of people that say, what you need to do...
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to get this cat. 1 second. Yowling like he's dying, just sitting there on a box.
Is stay out of people's bedrooms. Hey, what they need to do is stay out of our public schools and stay off of Disney and stay off of Nickelodeon and stay...
Like, bro, nobody is trying to get the kids, okay? Holy Christ on a cracker. Just living our lives here. Stay out of people's bedrooms and their personal lives and mind your own business is all we're asking. No one is trying to convert kids to anything. Jesus Christ.
Off a Kellogg's box, right?
Kellogg's box.
And so, we knew a long time ago when we gave same-sex marriage, you know, an unlawful benediction that the Supreme Court didn't even have. We knew back then it wasn't just going to stop, but didn't they say that? All we want is same-sex. If you would just...
Oh, my God, dude. I hear this constantly from the right. Are you hearing this? Tony Perkins said the exact same thing. This is almost word for word what Tony Perkins said, right? Started out saying all we want is, like, recognition and to not be, like, killed or jailed. And then it moved to, well, we want to be able to get married. Yeah, we want to progress human rights. We want to move human rights forward, of course. Are you kidding?
Give us same-sex marriage, we would leave you alone. Let me tell you something.
No, we're always going to fight for human rights. Always.
And I love the truth enough to say what's about to come out of my mouth. This ain't Sunday morning, it's Wednesday night.
Oh, God.
It has always been about the children. It has always been about the children. It wasn't about same-sex marriage. It's always been about these pedophiles.
Oh, please. Jesus Christ, dude. Get a grip on reality. What is he talking about? He has no reason to believe that gay people are coming after kids outside of listening to people like Tony Perkins scream and cry about it nonstop. Since we have Greg Locke up here, though, let me just hang on. I've got one other thing I want to show you guys. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember this. Since he's talking about the children, Greg Locke tried to be a rapper once. Called himself Rev Rhymes. I'm not joking. If you guys haven't seen this, it's so funny. Just taking a look back at all of the ridiculous stuff that happens surrounding Pride Month or children or gay people or whatever. This video is from 2013, and I think it's still on YouTube, hilariously. But just listen for a second. By the way, every stat in this video is false. I fact-checked a whole bunch of this in a video I did on it.
There are more people in the bondage of slavery today than at any other time in the history of the world. 40% of all of our missing children in America are caught in sex trafficking rings.
Yeah, that's false. I think 80% of them are just runaways.
The average individual that is trafficked is sold for $90, and 75% of them are sold by someone that they know very much.
Yeah, all of that, just complete nonsense. He's just making all of these stats up. Where is he? Is this Tennessee?
Rev Rhymes. There's an evil in these streets, but people, they keep walking. The government is hush-hush and preachers ain't talking. Everybody's quiet as a mouse, 'cause you don't get concerned unless it happens in your house. I see it on the news all the time. So no more can I keep silent, so I'm busting out this rhyme. It's time to lift the lid on a subject that ain't nice. They snatching up our kids, selling them out like they merchandise.
Like, if people were so inexpensive to purchase, $90 to purchase a human being, don't you think that, like, there'd be slaves all through the United States? You tell me you get a person that you can buy for, you know, into slavery or whatever to work a farm or work a job for you or whatever for the rest of their lives, and they wouldn't be all over the U.S. Like, give me a break. It's just completely fabricated. Now, there is an underground ring that does abduct kids and does sell them off and things like that, but being the QAnoner that he is, Greg Locke doesn't... He blows it way out of proportion. QAnon got famous in the first place because there was this claim that there were like 400,000 kids that are abducted every year or something like that. That's inaccurate. That's not true. They got that number from from the number of police reports, but didn't look at follow-ups where little Timmy saw Baskin-Robbins across from Claire's at the mall and decided to climb into the ice cream bucket. And the cops write up a report, and then they turn around and say, oh, there's little Timmy. Or, like I said earlier, 80% or something are runaways. They left. They disappeared. They didn't want to be in their families' lives anymore. And they were found by the police, but they weren't returned because, you know, they're just going about their day and living their lives. So anyway, that 400,000 number is completely blown out of proportion. It does not represent reality at all. Neither does anything else Greg Locke is saying in this video.
We've overlooked it like a big misplacement, not thinking about the girls beat up naked in a basement. There's no hope for victims, only danger, forced all the time having sex with a stranger. I know that sounds so dirty, you'd rather turn your face, but you can't sit there silent and still preach about his grace. It's gonna take an army to stand against this wrong. It's become an epidemic that's now 30 million strong.
30 million strong. What does he mean by that? 30 million people have been sold into slavery? I'm not even sure.
Strong. My friend, this ain't no game. Don't act like you can pause it. Imagine it's your kid in some dirty dude's closet. I'm not apologizing for being too graphic.
Like, is anyone asking for him to apologize?
It's time to break the silence for the victims of the traffic. This ain't some little problem that's just sitting on a shelf. $50 billion a year speaks for itself.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that number. $50 billion. He thinks it's a $50 billion industry. Okay. They just live in another dimension, don't they? It is just wild to me that these people come out here and just say whatever, whether it represents reality or not, doesn't matter to them. They just say it anyway. Where did he even get these stats? He didn't get them online because they're fake. If you Google how many people are like abducted, or how much does a slave cost or something like that, it's not going to say $90. My God, where did he just make that up? I think he just made that up.
It's time to scrub a dub, clean our cities like water, and tell these stinking pimps, keep your hands off our daughters. Modern day slavery, yeah, I'm being for real. I ain't talking about no cotton picking out in the field. People tied.
My God, dude, he's terrible. This is terrible. And for the record, the song itself is just kind of piss poor. I don't like it. I'm a rap connoisseur. I appreciate rap, and he's bad. The beat is kind of dated, I guess. You could probably do something with it if you remix the beat. Maybe it was an okay beat at the time, but it sounds very 1990s. The lyrics are just confusing as it gets. Completely nonsensical. And I get he's doing well with rhyming, but he's not doing like any double or triple syllable rhymes as far as I've heard so far, or anything like that. So it's just like kind of run-of-the-mill standard stuff at best, and the beat is like not even run-of-the-mill standard stuff.
Beat down in submission, chained to the bed, can't get up without permission.
Dude, why is he like dreaming up this insane fantasy right now? Did he just sit there and think about like what's happening to people or whatever? What the hell?
Used to close our eyes and turn around the other way. But if we don't do something, then this mess is here to stay. It's way past time to start lifting up our voices. We gotta get equipped, mobilize, join forces. Don't look at me so shocked, like ignorance is bliss. I guarantee you'll change when they tricking out your kid. It's become a big business, second only to drugs. The people making money ain't a bunch of stupid thugs.
You know, the reason that human trafficking is considered so big is because prostitution with pimps is considered human trafficking. Pimps are human traffickers. And drugs oftentimes go along with prostitution and pimping and things like that. But, you know, Greg Locke doesn't know any of that. He has no idea. He hasn't looked into any of the data. It's like he's just making things up. Has no idea what the problem even really is.
All walks of life, everybody you meet, chances are there's a perpetrator living on your street. The face of this crime is a growing demographic. It's time to break the silence for the victims of the traffic. It's time to break the silence for the victims of the traffic.
That's bad. That is so bad. Oh my God, that's bad. And yeah, and by the way, this logo here, he stole it. I don't remember what the logo is now, but it was to some marathon or something. It's just like he ripped it off brazenly, just took it from them. GV is supposed to stand for Global Vision Bible Church or Baptist Church or whatever at the time, probably. But yeah, stolen logo. This guy is something else. All of these people are they're just wild, man. This is just wild. I actually found a way to rip voice right out of an audio track. There's another rap song that Greg Locke did that I have hesitated to play, or that I haven't played on air, I don't think maybe ever, because it's got like an Eminem beat in the background. But now that I can rip vocals out of the songs, I'm thinking I'm going to do that, and maybe we'll talk about it again later. Anyway, the point is that people have been coming after the LGBT community since day one, since the very beginning. And for some reason, they can't like get past the fact that gay people will always exist, have always existed, and just want to live their lives. And they act like they are the persecuted ones. Like Tony Perkins acts like he's the persecuted one, while literally, like, while persecuting somebody else. It's insane. All right, check this out. This is Gordon Klingenschmidt on the left, and Alex Newman is his guest. I'm unfamiliar with Alex Newman anyway. Give this one a listen. This is from late August 2019.
Years ago, this would be, pedophiles recruiting and grooming children for their own, perverse pleasure down the road. Why don't we see this as a illegal measure of, recruiting children into sodomy?
That's being gay, is what he's talking about right now.
I think that's exactly how we should see it. In fact, years ago, these people would have gone to prison for this sort of stuff, exposing children to obscene material.
Nobody is doing that. Nobody stands for that. That's wrong, and everybody knows that's wrong. They're just fabricating problems because there are no problems, no actual problems.
Grooming children, exposing them to sexual and indecent material, that's a crime. In fact, that's still a crime on the...
Yeah, it is a crime. And weird, no one has been arrested for that in the LGBT community, or this isn't like a widespread thing that's happening in the LGBT community. I wonder why. Do you think maybe it's because the LGBT community is no more predisposed to taking advantage of children than any other demographic? How did he get here? How did this guy come to the conclusions that he's reached? This is insane.
Books in many states today. Indiana recently passed another law saying it would be a felony to expose children to obscene material.
Great. Yes, absolutely. It should be.
And yet these laws are not being enforced. The government schools all across America are still exposing the children to this.
Where? Who? Which schools? Tell me. Give me names specifically. This is the biggest amount of BS that I've seen, I think, in forever. This is just ridiculous. Dude can just come out here and just make shit up about people, and people believe him.
The government schools all across America are still exposing the children to this stuff. It's getting more and more obscene. And I think quite simply, they have accomplished a radical transformation of the culture using the government school system with kind of air support from the far left media and from Hollywood, the satanic propaganda, the filth, the LGBT agenda that comes out of all these places. And the consequences, we can already start to see what's happening. We see the breakdown of the family.
Right. So gay people existing has led to the breakdown of the family, quote unquote. What?
Skyrocketing abortion numbers, school shootings.
Wait, abortion numbers and all that. How does this relate to gay people again? I'm lost. I have no clue how he's drawing a link to these things.
The collapse of our society, the collapse of our civilization, the erosion of our liberties. You see, women are no longer prepared to be wives and mothers.
Dude, I love how he kind of slyly sticks in there, erosion of our liberties. Did you catch that one?
The collapse of our society, the collapse of our civilization, the erosion of our liberties.
I love it, dude. As if he gives a shit about liberties. Now, this whole segment that he's doing is based on taking liberty away from people, is narrowing what people are allowed to do in their own personal lives. Your right to swing your fist ends at the tip of my nose. You can swing it anywhere you want except right here, because that's not you exercising your rights anymore. That's you violating my rights. Your rights end where my rights begin. That's the bottom line. That's what the Constitution is built off of, the concept behind it. If gay people are just living their lives and doing their thing, that's called liberty, baby. This guy coming in and trying to ban these various different things, ban abortion, ban gay people from getting married to each other, ban this and that. That is him swinging his fist at someone's face. That's him taking rights away from others, or attempting to, but still has the twig and berries to come out here and say, erosion of liberties.
The collapse of our society, the collapse of our civilization, the erosion of our liberties. You see, women are no longer prepared to be wives and mothers. Young men are no longer prepared to be husbands and fathers. It is, an abomination. It's a tragedy of immense proportions. And honestly, I don't think our society is going to survive another generation or two of this if we don't get a grip on it.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. So men are not being prepared to be husbands and fathers. Interesting. Well, I got to tell you, to my knowledge, nobody is ever really prepared to be a father. They just kind of wander into it blindly and hope for the best. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it ends really badly. I don't know why. I would love to know the scenario that he's dreaming up right now, where in the 1950s, boys were trained to be fathers. What would that even entail? I know that my grandmother, when she was in school, she was, as a woman, expected to learn how to do wifely duties. So she'd have like a home ec class, and the boys would have a shop class, and they both stayed out of each other's classes. The women would learn how to make a bed, change the sheets with somebody still lying in it. She learned how to make shoes out of newspapers. She learned how to take care of people who might have radiation burns or whatever as a result of like a nuclear bomb going off. That's the kind of thing that women learned back in the 50s. Let's see, she was born in 1944. So when she was in high school, I guess 1960 to 62, roughly. That's what they were learning back then. Are you saying that we should go back to that time? Women, actually, she said that she was encouraged to read and keep up with political events because she didn't want her husband to get bored of her. That's what she used to say. Like that, I mean, that's what the school told her. You don't want your husband to get bored of you, so keep up with political events so that you can hold a conversation with him about it. I guess we're going back to that. That is absolutely insane. And he's like proud of it and excited for it. Like, my God, dude, these people need help, seriously.